I haven't talked about or watched a video from Cash Jordan. Cash Jordan is a pretty major YouTuber. He creates some phenomenal videos. I'm not even going to cap. And Cash Jordan has been documenting every single thing that is going on in New York. And because I wasn't in New York and I haven't been playing along with what's going on in New York in a long time, I haven't really been able to, catch Cash Jordan videos because I've been so enthralled and engulfed in what's going on in an election 2024. But Cash Jordan says that migrants are not only taking over and having problems over in Chicago and Denver and everywhere else, but they're starting to take over apartments in New York City, which also have squatter laws or don't have squatter laws. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Let's see what Cash got going on over here.
A homeowner in the Bronx started renting a basement apartment to a woman who was from Ecuador. These migrants were gang members who had been arrested over and over.
So gangs are now taking over homes and apartments in New York City. In some cases, they disguise themselves as normal renters, but in other instances, they simply break in and destroy the place. And unfortunately, New York is not the only city in America where this is happening.
Some new video today shows that some are calling gang violence at an apartment complex in Aurora. We see men there entering an apartment building with several weapons, then busting down a door.
A sergeant and two cops pull up to this house. They see a man pointing a gun down a driveway. They chase that man into a basement apartment and they make the arrest. And he's an asylum seeker. He's a migrant.
They used this woman to get them in there, and once one of them was in there, it became like a clubhouse for 8 or 9 of the most dangerous people the landlord had ever been introduced to.
You can see the windows are shattered out. There are things on the roof damaged. Fire officials on the scene tell us the spark was an extension cord that was charging multiple e-bikes. Now, they say this is a property, again, that home right in the middle, that is a problem for the community. They say they have seen people coming and going, and they say it was only a matter of time before this property caused a problem.
And right now, even as we speak, a new migrant caravan is on its way to the U.S.-Mexico border. Those in the caravan say they want to cross into the U.S. before November's election.
They weren't afraid of being arrested.
I wonder why they want to cross into the United States before the November election. Have y'all known that? Have y'all noticed that people are more informed of what's going on with American politics than some of the people that's here? Migrants crossing over here. I have people that is hitting me up all over the world because this is a large platform that a lot of people tap into. And they say, Anton, thank you. I'm tapping in from Japan. Anton, I'm tapping in from Canada. Anton, I'm tapping in from the UK. Anton, I'm tapping in from Mexico. And people are watching the platform and they're like, yo, is migrants that's literally trying to get over here before the November election because they know that if Trump wins, party is over. Party is over. They paying attention to the polls. They watching what's going on. Isn't that sad that we have an administration that is currently so gung-ho and being pro-migrant coming into this country that the migrants know it and that they're leveraging that in order to continue to take advantage of their once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. This is like the lottery for them. They can come over here, get EBT, get cash cards, take over the apartments. Don't worry about getting arrested. They're going to be let back on the street the next day. This is like kids taking candy out of the candy store when nobody is around there. This is bad.
They weren't afraid of anything. They knew nobody was going to do anything, so they just came back and set up shop like everything was everything.
Gang took one over and accidentally burned it down. But nobody's talking about how this problem of gangsters taking over apartments and using them as hideouts tends to happen more in sanctuary cities than anywhere else. And it's been happening here in New York for months, fueled by the proliferation of dangerous gang members through our shelter system, who act as if they're entering an American sanctuary city as someone who's fleeing poverty or persecution, when the only thing on their mind is persecuting the law-abiding. And the reason this is happening in New York and Chicago and Denver and other cities like this is because these gang members understand, according to critics, that they can get away with a lot more in parts of the country where laws are designed to protect them. For example, in New York, it's against the law for police to share the immigration status of someone they arrest with the federal government.
I'm going to read that super chat shortly. Thank you.
And part of the reason gang members operate with such brazenness here is because even if the NYPD arrests them and federal immigration finds out, our police are not allowed to hold that individual until the government can come get them, which means immigration enforcement has to make their own arrest on their own time with zero help from our city. And that brings us to the real reason why we're now witnessing gang activity in this country that we've never seen before. These criminals, once they get here, not only are they protected, they can also take advantage of a very generous social safety net set up for those fleeing extreme poverty. And they take advantage of this generosity to connect not with a path leading to the American dream, which is what most asylum seekers do, but with the criminal underworld. Now, New York in particular finds itself between a rock and a hard place because while our mayor and police realize the dangers we're now facing because of this gang activity, they're fighting an uphill battle against a legal system that keeps criminals out on the street when they come.
Isn't it crazy how we have politicians that's running around and remember, Kamala Harris's landmark talking point is reproductive rights. And I'm going to close the loopholes and continue to tax the rich and make them pay their fair share. You better thank a union member. You better thank a union member. Her landmark talking point is Planned Parenthood, and they're gonna take your right to continue to mutilate your own body, and you should be able to let children go into whatever bathroom and then transition to what they want to do in the first place. And we don't have a loophole to close for our police officers to be able to get these people up out of here that are repeat habitual offenders that came over here with records in the first place. We don't want to close the loopholes that then have illegal migrants that are gang members coming over here and committing some of the worst crimes ever. We want to make sure that we continue to debate a point that nobody is disagreeing about.
Commit minor, non-violent offenses, like engaging in a calm, peaceful shoplifting spree that doesn't hurt anything except the bottom line of a big company, or shut down one of New York's many small, struggling businesses. But critics say we've got another problem because this city and its shelter system are now full of individuals who may not be who they say they are, and may be hiding from a past life as a criminal, or worse, trying to start a new life of crime here in America, which recently happened when gang members took over a building and started a fire that led to 3 law-abiding families losing their homes forever. So fires.
This dude's B-roll footage be on point, don't it?
In New York City, that's nothing out of the ordinary.
He is out in the streets working and recording. I got so much respect for Cash Jordan. I know that his chick probably be like, Jesus, Cash, when you gonna come and spend some time with me? Cash like, yo, I gotta get this B-roll footage. I gotta go and record this engine company and ladder number 9 and number 6. I got to go and shoot this footage. I got to go and record. I got to get it popping. And I got to go back home and edit all of this stuff. People don't know the level of effort that these people do. And that's why I always like to give credit to content creators as far as what they do, because I know how difficult it is to go out there and be recording in the streets, to go home after edited and all of this stuff and upload it. So he doing the work. Shout out to Cash Jordan. I got to give him a lot of credit. Shout out to him.
In fact, these guys put out about 24,000 of them every single year. But recently, the FDNY encountered a fire that was different from the norm, not because of what caused it, but because of who started it and how they did it.
You can take a look at those 2 split homes right behind me there. You can see the windows are shattered out. There are things on the roof damaged. That is where the fire originated, and it all has to do with what was on the backyard of that property that we're going to give our viewers.
So before we see the backyard of this place, it's important to understand who was inside this building illegally that started the fire to begin with. And the home in question is located in Marine Park, a very nice residential neighborhood, and it had been abandoned for a very long time, long enough that junkies were able to get inside and had been squatting there. But according to the New York Post, those junkies rented out the home or part of the home to asylum seekers who then moved in and were living there as well. Neighbors interviewed said problems had been happening at the home for a while and an unknown number of people were living inside of it. They claim there were fights started between people living at the property and neighbors nearby. And what you have here is a critical mass of people living inside one particular property doing things inside of it that are not exactly legal or safe, which is why it burned down.
What was back there was a hoarding of trash that basically acted as an accelerant and kindling for the fire. Now, fire officials on the scene tell us the spark was an extension cord that was charging multiple e-bikes. Now, when that extension cord caught fire, so did the lithium-ion batteries. the flames.
So the backyard of this home, which was valued at $750,000, it was full of stolen e-bikes and trash. Now from the street you can see a lot of the debris that caught on fire in the back that had kind of been hauled out onto this little side area here. But there are some photos of the backyard online. Look at this. It was basically a big dump right there.
This is ridiculous. In my opinion, it's ridiculous. I think that it's disrespectful to the American people. And I don't know why y'all not holding y'all government leaders, the federal leaders, accountable. And when is somebody actually going to ask her the uncomfortable question and then deep dive and then press her? I don't care whether it's scripted. I don't care if it's live. I don't care what it is. But when is somebody going to press her on how they've basically given over our cities and our states over to illegal migrants, and we continue to distract the people with stuff that don't even matter, forcing them to make decisions and have conversations and argue over stuff that's not even relevant? When is somebody going to start asking an uncomfortable question? I would love for somebody to ask her, hey, listen, why does it say that Mayor Andre Dickens and Fani Willis actually met with you at the White House prior to them filing charges on Trump and influencing an election so that y'all can say that he was a felon? Hey, what is the border policy, and why are y'all saying that bipartisan agreement was needed when y'all saying that y'all stemming the flow of migrants, but y'all left the border open for the last 3.5 years? Hey, how come you've never mentioned Laken Riley's name, but you wanted to make sure that you mentioned Sonia Massey? You said you called the family of Sonia Massey. Did you ever call the family of Laken Riley? And what is it? What did you do that actually, and why were you this? And what did you do on that part? And why is this piece of legislation, and why is this part of the border security deal that he wound up getting? How come you don't mention that? And why do you keep saying, like, I want to know. I want to know what's going on and why people are not asking uncomfortable questions. How are they able to dodge this, and why? Also ask Charlemagne, ask Roland Martin, ask all of those people. And let me say this about Roland Martin. We're going to go ahead and wrap this up. I'm going to get y'all up out of here. We're about at the 2-hour mark. Let me say this about Roland Martin. I see you, roly-poly. I see you. You know what you do? You go and you attack and you do whole shows, multiple different shows on Michaela Montgomery. You cherry pick on the people that don't know no better because you know that they don't know no better. So you will go and you will talk about Jermaine Dupri. You'll go and try to jump on Michaela because you know that she don't have a YouTube platform to be able to go, say what you want to say. But I see you keep dodging real men. So you don't want to talk to a real man. And so you cherry pick your opponents based off of what your little whack beta male platform is talking about. But I'm waiting on you. I think that you trash. I think that you a paid shill. I think that you're corny. I 100% think that you are afraid to ever face a real man. And so you'll pick and choose on her, but you'll dodge the people that you know got real smoke for you. Because see, I got the money, I got the visibility, I got the ability to be able to deal with it, all of that. And so all of you old guard suckers that is being held up by people that don't really know any better, all of that is going to be addressed. We coming for all of y'all. 100%. I have no love. I have nothing stopping me. I don't have anybody that got any strings on me. I think that you trash, and I think that it's corny for you to continue to go after a woman when you know that it's a man waiting on you with brass knuckles. And I'm not saying physically. I'm talking about when it comes to these talking points. Y'all will never face me. Y'all so afraid that you're going to get destroyed on your own platforms or at a neutral site that you will never, ever face a person like me. Ever. You will never face a person like me. That's the facts.